Virgo, right away I'm getting this impression that there is some sort of major truth or revelation that is happening in your life right now that feels like it's kind of shaking the ground or foundation of something. I'm getting actually the sense of like relationships or something involving other people, but maybe there is something going on for you personally as well. What's interesting, Virgo, is that I actually feel like it's you who is naming or identifying this first. You need to speak up or say something or kind of identify a pattern or dynamic. So very interesting energy here. Before we dive too far into your reading, though, I just want to welcome all of you who are returning to this channel or brand new. It is so good to have you. If you are returning, it's nice to see you again. Definitely consider hitting that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already, as well as that bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. Now, I do have links in the description of this video for my website where you can book personal readings and distance Reiki sessions if you're feeling called to do a deep dive together. Would love to work with you. Again, all of that information is in the description of this video, where you can also find links for my other social media accounts. Now, Virgo, when I was connecting with your energy, I was also pulling some animal cards. We are going to get into some tarot cards in just a moment, but I kind of wanted to just sort of set the energy here. And I wasn't surprised when I saw Panther, because I actually felt like I needed to connect with you. There was almost this urgency, like something is happening now or something is happening very soon that's demanding attention. And when Panther shows up, it is almost like the major arcana, the Tower, from the traditional tarot deck, where there's this major revelation, this major kind of shakeup that's going on. There's this creature that is jumping out from the shadows, and it can often be quite powerful or even destructive. And sometimes this is about, you know, your own subconscious beliefs or patterns, and kind of clocking that you're seeing yourself in the act of something, and you're realizing, this feels like this could be a wound or a limiting belief that is coming to surface right now. But again, this might be about another person for some of you too, and maybe even just a dynamic as a whole. And it feels like you are just seeing what is going on in the shadows. And honestly, Virgo, this might be even an energy that you are embodying to somebody else. You might be surprising someone with a very direct conversation, or just by speaking very clearly to them. And it feels like this is necessary. But again, you very well could also be seeing some sort of dynamic in you. You are feeling something that's been going on behind the scenes, and you're just seeing it so clearly right now. And what's also funny is that the other card I pulled was the Whale. And this can kind of have some similar connotations to the Panther in kind of an unexpected way, because whale does hide beneath the surface, but it does need to come up for air. And that's kind of why it feels like, Virgo, you need to speak, you need to share your song, you need to come up for air. You've been holding your breath for too long, Virgo, and something needs to change. And it feels very emotional, whatever this is. Maybe this is about family dynamics. Maybe this is like some sort of family secret. There could be something, again, that's quite surprising with these cards. I do want to get into the tarot for you now, because I think that this will really kind of help cement what it is that we are picking up on. And as I am shuffling these cards, I really just invite you to take some time to connect to your own energy, maybe even uncrossing your legs and arms, just becoming very open energetically. That is traditionally what you do in a tarot reading. And really just kind of feel what resonates in your body as you're hearing these messages, what is meant for you versus what should be left behind for somebody else. These are general readings, so not everything that comes through is going to be meant for you specifically, which is why this discernment is really important. It might even feel good to pause this video and then come back to it, or really just feel centered as you're listening to it. That way you can be sure you are getting the messages that are right for you. You're also more than welcome to check out the other videos on my channel. I am posting timeless readings now, so you're welcome to watch this or any of my videos as they come to you or as you feel drawn to them. What are the messages that we have for Virgo? Show us clearly, please. Opening ourselves up to any angels, ancestors, and guides that are serving the highest good and rooted in the deepest truth. What is the energy for Virgo right now? What is the energy for Virgo? I think I'm going to pull one more for now. Okay. So I have a few cards here. The Two of Wands is actually coming in as the past energy, which is interesting because, you know, it feels like you've been in this energy of looking forward, or this place of looking forward, taking your next step. Where do I go from here? Where will this lead me? There's almost this excitement and maybe even optimism about the future. Sometimes this can also indicate making connections or learning about different parts of the world or connecting with people from different parts of the world. Maybe there's even like a long distance connection for some of you, or just like planning travel, because really the Two of Wands is about looking into distant horizons, okay? And it feels like you've been in this kind of like, life is starting to feel exciting again, or feeling this kind of optimism or potential is actually the word I'm really getting with this card. There's potential in your life, or there's been this newfound potential. You might not even know what this is yet, but it's almost like there's just something in the horizon that is coming in. And this could be both positive and negative. Maybe you're just very intuitive, you're very sensitive right now, you're feeling these different waves come in, and oftentimes with the good there is a bit of intensity too. But overall this actually feels quite optimistic, which is interesting with these animal cards that we pulled, where it feels like there could be some heavier emotions coming up. I did also get the Four of Pentacles with Temperance in reverse. And what's interesting about this is like sometimes the Four of Pentacles can represent holding back. This could be holding back resources or feeling a sense of scarcity. But with Temperance in reverse, it's almost like I'm getting biting your tongue. You've been biting your tongue with dynamics that aren't balanced or that need rebalancing, but it's not felt secure enough to say certain things. I do feel like that's changing though. This is kind of just energy that you've been in. And maybe for the sake of keeping a sense of equilibrium or peace, you've tolerated things that aren't actually working emotionally or energetically. It actually kind of reminds me of like no justice, no peace. Like it's only a false peace when we are tolerating injustice or when we are tolerating things that aren't good for us. Keeping the peace is often just being quiet about what is going wrong or what isn't working. And that's not really a peace. And I also get this sense too with the Strength card in reverse, very central to this reading. And sometimes this card comes in when it's like someone has lost composure, which very well could be what is a catalyst in kind of speaking to what isn't working, or maybe is working, but definitely feels like what isn't working. But I also get the sense from the Strength card where it's like, you've been strong for too long, Virgo. You've almost been too composed. And it hasn't actually come from a place of like emotional maturity. If I could be honest, it almost feels like you've been avoiding or delaying. And the change that's happening right now, the catalyst for you this month is this Eight of Wands, which often is news coming in or things happening very quickly. Things are developing very quickly. Yeah, something needs to get said or something needs to be addressed here. But it's interesting because I actually feel like in addressing these things, it's only positive for you in the end, Virgo. There's fire here. There's the Two of Wands. There's the Eight of Wands. It's like you are holding on with the Four of Pentacles to things that are out of balance and just anchoring your energy. And you need to speak your truth more. I'm really getting like strong throat chakra stuff with you, Virgo. You're communicating, or you're needing to communicate in a much more open way, but there's actually a lot of freedom that comes from that. And that's kind of this whale card. It's like you can finally breathe when you start speaking. Where's all of this going for Virgo? We have the Emperor with the Nine of Wands. Yeah, this does feel like climbing to the top of your power or reaching the end of something. You know, there's this stairwell where it's like you almost have reached your goal. I apologize, this glare is making it kind of hard to see. And oftentimes when the Nine of Wands comes into a reading, it is this card of perseverance. It is this card of moving forward. And like, if you've been kind of biting your tongue, Virgo, or not speaking to certain things, you're still carrying that weight. You're still carrying that burden. And it's almost like you're being selective with what is the burden I want to carry? What is the burden that actually leads me someplace versus keeping me in the patterns that aren't really working for me? And that's very Emperor too. You know, what does it mean to stand in my power? Excuse me, I just need some water here. And you know, I'm just being drawn to this eclipse imagery with the Emperor. And at the time of this recording, even though it is a timeless reading, we are between two eclipses. And the first eclipse that we had in September of 2024 was in your opposite sign, Pisces. This could be about relationships for you, or this could be about attachment patterns. Maybe the patterns you had in relationship with your parents that or caregivers that you're now reincarnating in your intimate or romantic relationships with people. And the Emperor can quite literally be talking about father issues or issues around a paternal figure, or those patterns or dynamics or beliefs around that traditionally masculine role. But ultimately, this is about authority and your structure, your authority, your power, your voice. And there's a real power in being vulnerable. I get this with this Panther. There's like this raw power with having the conversations that scare you a little bit, or looking at the things that scare you in the eye. And they may not be so scary when you do that. It's almost scarier when it stays in the shadow. Anything else for Virgo? Any other messages for Virgo? We do have the King of Pentacles, which could be your energy, but it's also Capricorn or Taurus energy. We do have some Aries energy with the Emperor, Leo energy with Strength, and Sagittarius with Temperance. So these might be signs that you are interacting with or maybe have placements in yourself. But this is all about stability. And it's interesting because I kept getting like Tower energy with the Panther, but at the same time, what's actually happening is helping you find greater stability by addressing what isn't working. It's not causing a blow up so much that it is just like having the heart to heart. Because I think sometimes, especially in relationships, whether these are friendships or romantic connections, we almost get into kind of this cycle or rhythm, and we can almost be like communicating on autopilot. It feels like there is this sort of breakdown in communication, Virgo, that's actually quite beneficial and sort of breaks up this monotony and helps you explore things on a deeper level. And I really feel like this is happening with another person. It's possible for some of you that this is just some sort of reflection that you're doing for yourself. You're kind of seeing yourself in a different way and maybe thinking about yourself in a different way or your patterns. But it's like something is disrupting the pattern, but it's for the best, and it actually helps make things more stable in the long run. So that's really, really interesting. And I know in this Wild Unknown deck, the Emperor and the Tower are both kind of these tall, kind of pine trees. And so I kept thinking of the Tower with the Emperor here. And again, like, it might not be the ending that you think it is. Whatever is happening right now might not actually spell the ending or kind of the worst case scenario. So kind of keeping that in mind too. Any other messages for Virgo at this time? Any other advice? Anything spiritually for Virgo? Any soul guidance for Virgo? Wow, we have the Devil. Yeah, this is all about facing fears and looking at these self-limiting beliefs and behaviors. This is major shadow work. I feel like a lot of you are doing your shadow work right now, or that's something that's almost happening to you, to be frank. Like, it feels like there are just these things happening in your life right now where you are seeing things that might not be comfortable to address, but are necessary and actually beneficial to do so. Oftentimes with the Devil, we can be kind of stuck in our way of thinking, and like our sense of morality can actually become a bit of a trap. This is what it means to be a good person or a good partner, or this is how I fulfill this role. And like even good intentions can be that road to hell. And that can also be a side of the Devil too. We're containing ourselves, we're chaining ourselves to things that aren't really authentic or good to us. Yeah, Page of Swords, talking things through, learning things. Yeah, Virgo, it feels like you're maybe working with a therapist or like doing some sort of deeply introspective work with a mentor or a guide or teacher or something, or just listening or taking in messages from somebody that's helping you do this. Who is this Devil for Virgo? Who is the Devil for Virgo? Who is the Devil for Virgo? We have the Seven of Swords. There again could be some sneaky behavior or some things that are kind of going on in the background and you are just calling it out, Virgo, as this Page of Swords. I mean, for some of you, this could be about, like, someone doing something behind your back. This could be a combination of, like, someone maybe... I mean, sometimes with the Devil and the Seven of Swords, it could be, like, an affair, for example. But I don't feel like that's what this is. But it's like something is going on, and, like, maybe your mind is going to that worst-case scenario, which is actually what feels more likely. Because you're picking up on something, like something's off with this person or something's off in this situation, but it's hard to place a finger on what exactly it is. And it's almost like you just need to call it out or call it in, really. Because I feel like you see this, Virgo, and other people might not. And maybe even at the time of this recording you don't, but you will soon. Anything else for Virgo? Yeah, Eight of Swords. Don't stay stuck in your own thoughts, your own head. Talk things through, Virgo. You're keeping yourself stuck by not expressing certain things, by not saying certain things. This could be about like work or something that is close to your heart as well, Virgo. Like if you love your work or if you love what you do, maybe you're feeling called to kind of speak out in a critical way about something, which honestly is kind of like the Virgo love language, right? It is being critical of the things that we love, because we want it to be the very best. Yeah, definitely comment down below, like, what is coming up with this for you? It feels like something that's very emotional and dear to your heart. There's some big things that are coming ahead right now, but I actually think is very salvageable, and you're actually finding an even greater or deeper level of security by shaking things up a little bit, even if it feels volatile or a little scary or uncertain in the moment. It's actually more stable than what you've been doing. So that's really, really interesting. Those are all the messages that I have for you right now, Virgo. And if this did resonate or this was helpful or gave you some things to think about, really consider hitting that like and subscribe button as well as that bell notification, commenting down below. All of that engagement is really helpful to this channel and allows me to continue putting out all of these messages for all of you. So thank you for that support. Again, you can find links in the description of this video for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions, which you can book on my website. And I will see you all next time. Take care, Virgo. Sending lots of love and blessings your way.